Little weather report for you from western Wisconsin. We just got slammed here a few days ago with this wet, heavy snow, and it has got the trees just bending over and begging for relief. Finally some sun today, but with the sun comes below zero weather, so this isn't coming off the trees anytime soon. But this won't keep me from getting in the shop and getting some work done. So let me show you what my next project's going to be. That a friend of mine wanted me to make for his in-laws cabin. They want to rename it Three Sisters, and the original name, as you can see, was Two Sisters. This sign is 26 inches in diameter, and he wanted to make a couple of changes. So I'm going to do this layout first, and then I'm going to carve this out with my Shaper Origin. So I have to create a file to do that, and this is what I came up with. So you can see the outline on the outside there is 26 inches in diameter. Those squiggle lines are the pine tree lines. I came up with my own version of a loon, and then the rest is pretty much the same, a little different font obviously, and then he wanted to remove the established 2002, I believe it was. Yeah, so we remove that, and then basically I'm just recreating this layout to put on some signboard for him. So let's take it down to the shop and let's get going. Alright, here it goes. I've got my setup. I got my tape board up on top so that any part of the design that's up here can read off of this. I've had to put additional tape, you can see here, throughout the piece. Originally I had a piece of tape all the way down here, but that's, you don't need that. So it reads perfectly fine. I had a center dot from layout lines 26 and 15 and a half. Used the center placement feature on Shaper to put it on that dot after I scanned, and it is nearly perfect. I can't really see where it's going to be you know, coming off the lines I've got here. I think I'm going to be just pleased as punch that I've got it laid out properly. This interior line is cut, you know, probably an 1/8 inch deep. That's what I'm thinking anyway. This is an exterior cut line, which I'll use my Shaper to do that. Once I'm done with the design, I'll cut the outside nearly all the way through. But what I want to do is start with the interior, start with the loon, then the trees, and then the text on the arc. So I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff. I've got an 1/8 inch engraving bit in here, which is what I'm going to do with the loon. I'm going to cut inside the line and see how that goes. I may switch to an 1/8 inch bit. I think I've got to stick with this, because if I go to 1/8 inch, the cutter will overlap those lines sometimes. So I'm going to go with engraving on this part and the trees, and then when I come to the text here, I'll switch to a 1/4 inch bit. But well, there it is. I was doing just great until I got to the last cut over here. I'm not all the way through the plywood. I'm just 20 thousandths away. But for some reason I kind of jogged the Shaper and gouged on the inside. Could have gouged on the outside, but it went inside, so I gotta fix that. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Alright, this is after my little repair here. And you can see I've cut it out, but I've got to remove this. About 10 or 15 thousandths worth of material. I'm going to do that on the router table with a flush trim bit. Yeah, I'll just do that right up to this point here, and then I'll take and belt sand that off, I believe, and get that flushed up. So it looks pretty good. I got some rough edges where the paper is kind of lifted. I'll get in there and hand sand these. Getting ready to sand the edge of this sign. I thought it'd be interesting to try these new belts that I've got. These are from Abranet. They're called Abranet Max, and they're a mesh. You can see through them, and they're supposed to cut better and not clog up. So we'll see. I've got a 120 grit belt in my sander. It looks like I tried it on something I've got, because I've got a little mark here. But we'll just see how it works with this sign here. Well, I never had my belt. No wonder. I never had this tightened down to the bench. Kept moving on me. Oh, that might be a blessing in disguise. It cut nice. I'm trying to find mine. There it is. So I did get that sanded down. It looks good. I think I'm going to make one more pass. And this time I'm going to have my belt sander clamped so it doesn't move. Yeah. That's better. Alright, I'm going to call that done. Thanks for watching.